What's up, traders? Today is Wednesday, October 26th, and I hope you all had a good day in the markets. And let's get right on into it. Well, today I had a good day. I made $6,904. As you see there in my trades, I had a batch of puts and a batch of calls. I did have a losing hand on the 370 there. I actually made a mistake. I didn't mean to place that trade, but I did. And when I realized what happened, I backed out. But you know, you're gonna lose a little bit before you break even. So, anyways, um, let's get into how I made that money. So you guys can make some money as well. Okay, what you're looking at is the morning hour. And for today, the 30-minute and the 65-minute, here's the 30-minute and here's the 65-minute. It didn't really have a significant um, impact on the trading decisions for today, and that's because when the morning surge happened this morning, for example, right here, it just left the 30-minute and the 65-minute in the dust. Okay, just left it behind. Didn't even. Basically, it was the 1 minute and the 5 minute that dominated. Now, the 30-minute and the 65-minute down below, as you see here, did give some hints, some clues that it was going to surge. As you see here, the RSI at the bottom, there's bullish divergence. Chaikin Money Flow, bullish divergence on the 30-minute. Likewise, with the 65-minute, you see higher lows, bullish. That's always bullish whenever I look for that. Okay, so it did give some clues as to how it was going to look today. This morning I did the morning outlook, stock market outlook, where I diagnosed it as neutral bearish. Okay, and so, overall, well, it did come true. It was bearish. Basically created a double bottom today, right? I mean, it went up, but then it retraced 100% of it and finished at the lows of the excuse me, lows of the day. Okay, let's get into exactly when I placed the trade. Now, because of the surge that happened, from the morning time, the 1 minute time frame tended to dominate. Okay, so let's get into it. But since I always start from the 5 minute, let's get into that. I'm zooming in. Okay, opening bell comes down. In my morning outlook, where I discussed this. This is a support line, and lo and behold, it candle wicked it. It bounced right up. Okay, so it did come into play, and I said in the morning outlook, I said, well, it depends on if it holds support or not. If it holds support, then we're going up. If it doesn't hold support, then we're going down. Well, guess what? It held support, and we went way up. So, um, specifically, let's watch the action of what it did. It bounced off the line, came up to the upper end of the 5 minute of the Bollinger, right? Of the Bollinger Band. See that? Came down to the lower end of the Bollinger Band. See that? It didn't really bother even stopping at the 5 minute EMA right here. It was more range bound to the Bollinger Band today. Okay, so it came down to the lower Bollinger Band, and then it shot back up past the EMA 5, which is really my favorite. The red line right here, the EMA 50, on the 5 minute. That really is my favorite because it's just it's just time and time again, um, so influential in being a pivot point for the data. Okay, now I actually did not get in until this candle. Here, I'll zoom in. This candle closed. Okay, I got in when I saw this one close and this one, excuse me, this one open. Okay, that's when I got in. That's when I got in on my calls. So let's count how many, since these are 5 minute candles, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, an hour into the trade. I waited an hour to get in. And why did I do that? As discussed in previous videos, you must wait for confirmation, right? You've got to wait, as I've said, at least one candle body, not including the wicks, right? You don't include the wick. At least one candle body needs to be closing above the EMA 50 line on the 5 minute chart. It must, no exceptions. Okay. And when I started to see this candle form and it just started shooting straight up and hugging the outer Bollinger Band, oh that's all I needed to see. I'm in. Call. Okay. You know, it's just so powerful when this candle body closed above the EMA, as you see there, but then this wick didn't bother touching the EMA. That tells you there's a lot of power there. This wick right here didn't even bother touching the EMA 50. Okay, that's when I got in. No questions asked at that point. And when you look at these back tests, here's a back test. See, it 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 overextended so far beyond the upper end of the Bollinger Band, right? It's like, well, it's got a back test. You can't just keep going like that, and it did. But even the back test was so strong. Notice that it didn't even touch the EMA 50 line. Didn't even touch it. Okay, that's just raw power right there. Now, what's this red arrow? You probably ask. That red arrow, I wanted to let's go ahead and zoom in. This red arrow right here is equivalent to this red arrow down here. On the left-hand side is the 1 minute. Okay, so on the 1 minute, it touched the EMA 50 on the 1 minute time frame. That's what it did. But on the 5 minute, it didn't even touch it on the back test. Anytime you see that, just you can like assume it's like 100% chance you're gonna get a call and it's gonna go up. It will not go down when it doesn't even touch the EMA 50 on the 5 minute chart. Okay, I mean, see, look at that. It bounced it on the 1 minute and look at boom. Just that's too much power. Okay, too much power. Too much. Okay, which is obviously nothing to complain about. Um, so so I got in, like I said, I waited again 50 minutes into it, almost an hour after opening bell. I just sat there and watched. I waited. I didn't jump in under all this mess because it's like, it's not clearing the EMA 50 yet, right? It's like, nope. Remember the rules that I've stated in previous videos. The candle body cannot straddle the line. If it straddles the line, that is not acceptable criteria yet. That is not confirmation to place calls. Okay, it's not confirmation to go long, right? Because as you see here in this cluster of the first hour, it's like, no, you don't have confirmation. You do not have confirmation to go long, even though, boy, oops, sorry, even though, oh, did it zoom out on me? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What did you do? Oh, that's interesting. Let me, it's somehow, here we go. I got it back. Okay. Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about the power upper end of the Bollinger Bands. Okay, but nonetheless, oh yes, I was going down here. Even though, oh look, it's making higher lows, right? Higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. You know, I guess this just totally depends on your investing aggressiveness. You could have gotten in, sure. You could pull the trigger anytime in there, but you know, my criteria is nope, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer. I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer. 50 minutes into it. So I guess that's just the moral of that story. Okay. And so I got in here and I actually I sold pretty much at the top. When I started to see it really start to slow down, it's like, oh, these candles are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And let me see if I can show this to you. I should have drawn an arrow. Okay, I can visually show you. I don't have an arrow here. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. So if we go straight down from here to here, there is bearish divergence right here. See that? That's going down. That's where I start looking. Honestly, when I think it's starting to top out, I'm going to start looking for bearish divergences. This is the Chaikin Money Flow. See that? Is that is higher than that is higher than that. That means you're topping out. You are topping out. You better start thinking about getting out of your position. Okay? Same deal here. There you go. That's a bearish divergence right there. So, um, so that's yeah, that's a way that I determine if we are topping out or not, whether it's time to consider getting out. I start eyeing the 5 minute um, divergences in the RSI. Well, actually, in all of these, RSI, Chaikin Money Flow. Um, here's the rate of change. See that? See the red line? It's actually shorter, starting to get shorter and shorter and shorter. Actually, right here is major divergence. Okay, when it's peaking right there, that's flatlined. That's time to get out. Okay. All right. Now, check this out. Here's another. I when I sold here, my next move was not to short. Okay, even though I did end up shorting, but I'll tell you why. Excuse me. Now, um, here's the SMA 20 line, simple moving average 20, right, which is right there. Remember, I have said in previous videos that um, if the body of the candle goes through the line, that's a failure point. That is considered a failure point. Okay, yeah, straddles. I use the word straddles the line. That's bad. And guess what happened? It went through it, and down we go. Right? I mean, it's just textbook every single time. I, and again, by comparison, let's look down here. See that? The EMA is straddling. To me, that's like, no, that is not confirmation to go long or short. That's just a big cluster right in here. That's like, no, I need confirmation. But here, you see the straddling? That's like, I don't think that's going to hold. And guess what? It didn't. See that? Boom. You start to see this big wick here. Uh-oh, it's lights out. That's actually when I got in. I I saw this straddle, down, but I waited to get in on this one. I didn't get in on this one because I wanted to see how it was going to respond. All right, because it's very common for it to come down past it, back test. I wanted to see if the back test was successful. The back test was not because of this long wick means it was being pushed downward. Okay, so I basically got in like right here. As soon as I was watching it, and I was seeing the wicks starting to form. I said, "Oh, I'm in. Get puts." Okay, and then down we go. Now, let me zoom out. Yeah, let me move on to the next slide. This is better. Yes, yes, yes. Here's the afternoon. I want to show you some good stuff here. This is the same view that you were looking at just a moment ago, where I got in on my puts right here, and then um, I sold right here because how did I know when to sell? Remember a moment ago, I showed you bearish divergence when I sold at the top. Well, this is bullish divergence when you need to sell at the bottom right here. See that? That's going up while that's going down. That's telling you you need to start consider. See, okay, so you could obviously start to see this data point here, left side. What you'll need to do is wait for this to come down, up, down, and then come back up. That's how you know, it's bottomed. There's bullish divergence. Okay? Now, check this out. So this is the MACD on the 5-minute. Look at, so clearly this late afternoon, or we'll just say 2 p.m.-ish, 2 p.m. and after. That's clearly a downtrend, right? No argument there. That is bullish divergence uptrend on the MACD. That's the market hinting, oh, I'm gonna go back up. Okay, bullish divergence on the Chaikin Money Flow. Bullish divergence, higher lows. Specifically, that's what I mean when I say bullish divergence, higher lows on the RSI. Okay, look at the 1-minute. Clearly a downtrend, right? But look at that, up, up. Okay, it's 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 signaling ahead of it's signaling ahead what it's going to do. All right. And one final thing I want to show you guys. So this is NASDAQ futures. You know, and by the way, here's my Twitter. Today, with an hour to go, I was actually tweeting out warning signs. You know, we're getting into the final hour. It's laying a bear trap. There are bullish divergences. So I laid the screenshot out of what I saw. And lo and behold, what has happened? Okay, so this is the 4-hour NASDAQ that I want to point out. First thing, okay, all right, here we go. The 4-hour. Look at, oops, hold on, I need to draw. Let's go red at that. Look at that. This is the MACD, okay? And relative strength index, okay? Both on the 4-hour time frame are going up, okay? And just draw this out. This red line here, that's the 0 line, okay? It is well above the 0 line on the 4-hour. The MACD is. That is extremely bullish, okay? And honestly, okay, you see you see this trend line, bottom, bottom, bottom. Well, look at that. We're touching it now. Basically, what I'm saying is, what I'm implying is, tonight it'll probably happen overnight. it's going to bottom the MACD, and its next move is to go back up, right? That's why I think tomorrow is going to be a big day. And let me zoom out a little bit. This is the August peak. Remember that when it crashed on everybody? I think that was Jackson Hole, right? That's when it just crashed on everybody. So so we haven't seen we haven't seen the MACD be firmly in the positive like this since August, or when we rallied. See that? Firmly in the positive, came back in the negative. But like this area right here, this range, look at that positive, touch the zero line, positive, positive, touch the zero line, positive. We just rallied like crazy, crazy mad dog in August. We have that similar pattern again, where it came up positive and came back down to the zero line, boop, bounced up, and now is still firmly in the positive. Okay, and let me draw one more line for you guys. I think that's what's happening. We are approaching a wedge. And based on everything that I see, it's going to go up. We just have that momentum. The momentum's there. We have we have broken out of um, there was a previous here. Let me draw that. This was the previous line. We've broken out of that. Okay, right? You agree with that? We've broken out of that previous channel. And so what really happened today is, so this is the other line here. Let me get rid of that previous channel so it's more clear. Okay. So really what happened today was it poked its head above the resistance line. Poked its head above, fell back down. Today poked its head above, fell back down. Okay? But it's getting closer and closer and closer to the head of the wedge. It's got no choice. It's got to make a move, right? It just has to. So, but right now, everything that I see, it is bullish. And, we can go to the 5 minute time frames. Yeah, it's just hanging out at the zero line. It's waiting for tomorrow's GDP report. And wait, let me zoom back out. I'm going to show you guys something. Let me clear all the drawings too. We don't need to see that anymore. Clear. Okay. So yeah, this was last. I think this was the 17th. Okay. So yeah, last week, last week it was like Thursday into Friday, and then Friday just exploded. Remember that? Look at the lower. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, come on, guys. Just draw that line out. Even though last week it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, down, down, down. Look at the higher lows on the MACD. This is the 4 hour time frame. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, right up until it got to the zero line, and then it just exploded out. Okay? Well, that is a precursor. That's a precursor to, I mean, tonight it's above the zero line, firmly above, like way above. And so I think it's going to explode again. It's just going to. Okay. So, um, yeah, last Friday, let me see on if it looks better on the 1 minute. Yeah, let me clear the drawings. Yes, 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 yes. Here it is. Here it is. This is better than the 4 hour. The 1 hour looks better. Here we go. Last Thursday. Oh, come on. Let me just do that. You'll hear other YouTubers say, well, it was the Wall Street Journal article that came out on 8:30 in the morning, right? That there might be a debate on a Fed pivot after the November 2nd 75-point rate hike, right? Everyone just, well, it's because of the news. The Wall Street Journal leaked that article at 8:30 in the morning. Well, I'm here to propose. It was at this point right here the markets exploded, right? Right there. Exploded right there. We can all agree to that. Look at the formation the markets were already doing. The night before, the day before, not just the night before, the day before, it was already making higher lows. Came up, remember that, and then it crapped. It just took a crap. But it was a higher low, and let me zoom in. Let me maximize that. Here we go. It was a higher low right here than right here, and it was already flattening out as if it was consolidating, right? And then when the news broke, boom, it exploded. That's not an accident. That's what I'm trying to say. It is not an accident. And I think that tomorrow morning's GDP report, the markets already know what the answer is. It just doesn't want to tell the rest of everybody else, obviously. But I think the markets, the big money, the market makers, they already know what the number is going to be. And so, depending on the formation, um, I know what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, here we go, here we go. Remember that day CPI number came out? Here we go. Let me clear drawings. This was it. Remember that? CPI came out, flash crash, and then it just savagely came up. That day it swung like 1,500 points that day, remember? Here's what I want to propose to you guys. Watch this. Higher lows. It's already close to the zero line. What I'm trying to say is the markets had already made a decision. Oh, it's going up. That CPI number just kind of made it an irritant. But what did the markets do? Crashed and reversed and went almost double the length that it initially crashed. And that's because on the MACD it was already making higher lows significantly. See that? Look at that. That's undeniable. And this is all the while markets are going down. Bullish divergence. By the time the CPI number came out, the MACD was almost at the zero line to begin with. Starting from a highly negative, almost to the zero line. It already made the decision it's going to pop. The CPI just, like hit a speed bump. But what happened? The same day it just reversed and it popped, right? It popped. No question about it. And so right now, as of right now, it's at the zero line again on the 1 hour. Okay. I think it's just getting ready. It's getting ready for tomorrow. While we've been falling, see this whole time in August and September, right here. See that? We've been falling. We haven't been hovering at the zero line. It's just like, oh, okay, oh, we're up. Oh, then now we're way down. We're up, and then we're way down, way negative. Up, and then way negative. But now we are at the zero line. We're getting ready. Something's gonna pop, and it can come. I suspect it's gonna come tomorrow. Okay, so that's all I've got for you guys for tonight. And let's see, as always, if you like the content, give it a like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. I'm going to release another pre-market um, outlook, but by that time, the morning GDP will have already been released. And if you're watching, oh, get ready for some fireworks. We're going to see something tomorrow. It's 7:30 a.m. All right, talk to you later.